Hey, welcome back to my channel, The Coin Studio. Today, we're taking an in-depth look at one of the most intriguing and widely collected coins in US history, the 1970 Jefferson nickel, also known as the Monticello nickel. The Jefferson nickel series has been in circulation since 1938, featuring the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. While many collectors may overlook modern-day Jefferson nickels, the 1970 version has some unique aspects, including rare errors, valuable varieties, and interesting historical context. In this video, we'll explore the history of the Jefferson nickel series, the design and composition of the 1970 nickel, key varieties and mint marks, rare errors and valuable 1970 Jefferson nickels, tips for collecting and investing in Monticello nickels. By the end of this deep dive, you will have a complete understanding of why the 1970 Jefferson nickel deserves a place in your collection. So, let's jump right in. The history of the Monticello nickel. Before we focus on the 1970 Jefferson nickel, let's quickly go over the history of the series. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation since 1913. The US Mint held a public design competition, and the winning entry came from Felix Schlock, a German-American sculptor. His design featured a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, on the reverse. The first Jefferson nickels were struck in 1938, and the design remained mostly unchanged for several decades. However, there were some important modifications over the years, which brings us to 1970. The 1970 Jefferson nickel, design and composition. The 1970 Jefferson nickel maintained the classic Felix Schlock design, which includes obverse, front, design. Portrait of Thomas Jefferson, Schlock's original design, showing Jefferson in profile, facing left. In God We Trust, placed to the left of Jefferson's portrait. Liberty and the year, 1970, positioned to the right, separated by a small five-pointed star. Monticello, the neoclassical Virginia home of Thomas Jefferson, depicted in fine detail. E pluribus unum, placed at the top of the coin. Monticello, written directly below the image of the house. 5 cents, positioned underneath Monticello. United States of America, written along the bottom edge of the coin. Composition and weight. By 1970, the US Mint was still producing Jefferson nickels in the standard composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This same composition had been used since 1946, when the Mint phased out the wartime silver nickels, 1942 to 1945, that contained 35% silver. Weight, 5.00 grams. Diameter, 21.2 millimeters. Edge, smooth, plain. Now, let's move on to the mint locations and the different varieties of the 1970 Jefferson nickel. 1970 Jefferson nickel mint marks and key varieties. The 1970 Jefferson nickel was struck at 3 US Mint locations. 1. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark. These coins do not have a mint mark. Most 1970 Philadelphia nickels are common, but high-grade examples can be valuable. 2. Denver Mint, D mint mark. The 1970 Jefferson nickel is the most commonly found version. However, certain well-struck examples, especially full steps nickels, are highly sought after. 3. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proof coins only. The 1970 S-proof Jefferson nickel was struck for collectors. These were not intended for circulation and were only available in special proof sets. Now that we know the different mint locations, let's talk about some rare and rare errors and valuable 1970 Jefferson nickels. While most 1970 Jefferson nickels are common in circulated condition, certain errors and high-grade coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. 1. 1970D full steps Jefferson nickel. In coin collecting, full steps refers to a fully struck Monticello design where all 5 or 6 steps at the base of the building are visible. Most 1970D nickels have weak strikes, so finding a full steps example is rare. Value: an MS65 full steps nickel can be worth $5,000, $10000 plus, depending on the grade. 2. 1970S proof nickel with cameo or deep cameo finish. Some 1970S proof nickels display a cameo or deep cameo effect, where the frosted devices contrast with the mirror-like background. These coins are highly desirable, especially in PR69 or PR70 grades. Value: a deep cameo 1970S proof nickel can fetch $90000, $10000 in high grades. 3. 1970 off-center strike error. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, resulting in a portion of the design missing. Value: depending on the severity, these can be worth $500, $5,000. 4. 1970D double die obverse, DDO, and reverse, DDR. A double die error occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, causing noticeable doubling in the letters or numbers. Look for doubling in Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date, 1970. Value: a well-defined 1970 DDO or DDR can sell for $20000, $30000 plus, depending on grade. 5. 1970 clipped planchet error. A clipped planchet happens when part of the blank coin is accidentally cut off during minting. Value: these errors can range from $6,000 to $15,000, depending on the size of the clip. Collecting and investing in 1970 Jefferson nickels. If you're interested in collecting 1970 Jefferson nickels, here are some pro tips. 1. Look for high-grade examples, focus on nickels in MS65 or higher for the best investment potential. 2. Search for errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets can fetch big money. 3. Check for full steps. A well-struck full steps 1970 nickel is much rarer and more valuable than a weakly struck one. 4. Buy certified coins. For rare varieties, it's best to buy coins that have been graded by PCGS or NGC. 5. Store properly, use coin holders, albums, or slabs to prevent damage. Conclusion: the 1970 Jefferson nickel might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but as we've seen, it has a lot to offer for collectors. Whether you're looking for rare errors, full steps varieties, or just a nice proof example, this coin has something for everyone. Did you find any valuable 1970 nickels in your collection? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more numismatic deep dives. Thanks for watching the Coin Studio.